PI planning in regulated environments is brought to you by piplanning.io.
Even though SAFe has almost all the hooks needed for regulated environments, some requirements ask you to have very special roles in place. Milestones which you need to fulfill and specific artifacts which have to be produced. Of course, a lot of behavior can be steered with definitions of done and definition of readiness, but sometimes it's also necessary to think about how you can deal with specific roles which are needed explicitly and special milestones which people want to see built into the process as well. There are many different types of enhancements for SAFe, and I could speak to you several days about what it's all possible and maybe needed, but I would like to show you here today, very briefly, 3 typical kind of enhancements for SAFe. First, it's for roles. Secondly, it's for phases and milestones. And third, an example which is for tailoring different behavior. We see here a portfolio SAFe configuration of SAFe, and if we work in an ISO 26262 relevant environment, we have one requirement which says, hey, a project manager shall be appointed to the initiation of a product development concerning the item. Of course, we don't want to have that role, and we are coming from Agile, so we may want to give that responsibility in this environment to the product manager. This seems to be very natural for us. And the product manager will have special skills needed for ISO 26262. So he knows that he needs to have a safety manager in place. And now the interpretation game starts. We could say, okay, this is a very special role. We want to have that as a role in shared services, for example. Another decision could be that we need that many times that we split up those responsibilities of a safety manager to the triad of product manager, release train engineer, and system architect. Once this is done, the safety manager can delegate tasks to persons that possess the required skills, competencies, and qualification. So these are the Agile teams. Yeah, we are back in Agile business.
Here is a word from this show's host, piplanning.io.
Check out other shows like the PI Planning Cooking Show on piplanning.io/shows. There you can watch full episodes without any interruptions, and you also get the full transcript and an overview of the key takeaways of each episode. The link is in the bio. Back to the program.
Another example I would like to talk to you about is phases and milestones. We see here the standard phases and milestones of applied SAFe, where we plan something, do something, learn, and adopt. This is the classic plan, do, check, act circle, as already mentioned by our beloved Mr. Deming. So let's take some typical milestones as we know them from functional safety. For example, technical safety concept, solution verification, solution validation, safety case updated, and so forth. We take now these milestones and think about what we want to do with them. Shall we just add those milestones to our circle? Do we want to do, for example, solution validation to be still a part of solution demo as we have it defined in SAFe? If yes, then we would just alter or change that milestone. Or we make the decision to make this milestone explicit and we add it to our existing milestones. Again, this is our decision. This is a position for our processes, and this needs to be done once, and then it's fine for an organization. You don't have to decide that again and again in every single endeavor, in every single program. The first example I would like to show you is that we talk about dynamic parts in processes. Just imagine again that you're on the functional safety relevance and you want to make sure that you only do the minimal necessary amount of work. So let's imagine that you build a solution where nobody can injure it. This kind of solution will be tested very differently than a solution where, in a case of fatal failure, it's life-threatening. In the later case, you will make much more in validation and verification. It's called the same, but in a different manner. And this is an old word for that. It's polymorphism. And if you can adjust to that, you can reduce waste in your processes as well. And that is what you want. As a learning organization, as an employee, as an architect, and as a budget responsible person. And of course, your customer. So you build something into the process where each endeavor can answer for themselves. And by answering themselves, they can easily adapt. And this is something that has been even foreseen in functional safety. In the regulated requirements, it already says that life cycle may be tailored. So let's use this given freedom and let's play with it.